So, who gains from war? Um, haven't made a video in quite some time, so this is not going to be about SpaceX or any potential launches, although the third orbital launch attempt will be coming up soon, and I might post a video in that regard. This is more aimed towards what's going on in the Middle East, and recently there was an attack supposedly done by Iran that killed 3 US service members. To clear up a few things, I'm going to quickly go through a few facts regarding this. People are quick to say, well, Iran did it, let's bomb them, but they don't really think about it in depth. Firstly, all these US soldiers in the region, this is based on what Colonel Douglas MacGregor said on a recent interview on Redacted with Clayton Morris. Quite a few interesting facts that the man brought up. He's quite a knowledgeable guy, so I do respect a lot of his opinions. But yeah, here goes. The fact is there's about 57,000 US military personnel in the region in the Middle East. And these people are, in many instances, in areas where they are actually legally not supposed to be. And they are actually targets for people that might want to start a potential war. So you could say it's a potential false flag could happen there as well. That's obviously a possibility. But the thing is, all these soldiers are like basically soft targets. They are in countries where they are not even supposed to be. In many instances, like Iraq, they're really not wanted there anymore. Public does not want them there. It's not American soil. They're not holding the peace. They're not there in such numbers to make a physical difference. So, in my opinion, and obviously, well, based on Colonel Douglas MacGregor's opinion, they are just there to entice someone into taking military action against them, and that might start a greater conflict. And that might be the purpose, for all we know. Couldn't tell for sure. But the fact is also, there's no one that's really proved that this was an Iranian attack, which is also brought up by Colonel MacGregor. So people are quick to jump to conclusions and say, let's bomb Iran. But think about it, who really gains from a war? None of these people in all these countries gains from a war except one, well, a few, but except one side of this coin. That's on the military-industrial complex side. People that run the world, people that run for Senate offices and presidencies and so forth, some of them have some skin in the game. If there's war, they make money. Keep that in mind. The other thing to keep in mind in this regard is that they are quick to think or assume that Iran is going to be a pushover that they can just bomb the shit out of. That's not necessarily the truth. Iran's got quite a bit of technology. They have missiles with great capabilities. They can literally flatten large parts of Israel, for example. They've got cruise missiles. They've got excellent hackers. All these things were discussed in this interview with Colonel Douglas MacGregor. I would suggest taking a look at it. I'll add a link to the interview in the description of this video. But people are quick to make judgments and say, oh, Iran, guilty. Be careful of assuming things because the media tells you something. If CNN and BBC and MSNBC, all those publications tell you something, it would be good not to just take them by their word. They are there to support a certain narrative, and that's always going to be like that. The fact remains is only one that humanity as a whole does not gain from war. The only one that gains from war is those in power, and unfortunately, most of them, even in your own countries, whether it be the United States or South Africa or anywhere, they all are there for power and money. And it would be good to remember that. It would be good to take a look at how the world is currently and really think about what you're shown on the media, the news media, the mainstream media especially, but not just the mainstream media. Obviously, you have to keep an eye and an open mind on what you see on social media, not to just believe everything you see. The Iranian situation there's a great possibility that it might escalate. And like the Gulf of Tonkin that Douglas MacGregor just spoke about on this specific interview, I suspect we need to be careful. most people in all these countries involved, even the United States, which is the most powerful military, or used to be most powerful military on earth, um, that think they are ready for, or I don't think they really thought this whole thing through. It would be advisable to make sure of the facts, and firstly, it would be advisable not to just trust everything you see on the news. There's a lot at stake if the United States, if I was in charge of the United States, for example, I would withdraw my troops from those countries, secure my southern border, which is another thing, in fact. Um, they think by attacking Iran, they're going to gain something. Obviously, military-wise, financially-wise, some of those parts of the industrial complex and some politicians certainly will gain something from this. But the southern border in the United States is totally open. Even if they do secure parts in Texas in terms of border security, which I'm not convinced they are doing, even if they say they're doing it right now, especially with the regime in Washington at this stage. Millions. Some people estimate between 8 and 20 million. That's estimates only, and that's only what's known. But I think there's probably about 8 to 10 million people that came in to the United States over the last couple of years, especially since Biden took over. It just amazes me that people just blindly vote and base their decisions on what they see on the media. It's like Taylor Swift situation. If Taylor Swift says she's voting for someone and the other guy's a crook, then you all, well, not you all, I'm generalizing, my apologies, but think for yourself. How can people not think for themselves and make their own decisions? So this US border thing is a big thing to keep in mind in this whole Iran situation. Like Colonel MacGregor said on the video itself, there's millions of people flooding across the border in the United States. I think over 10,000 a day, way over 10,000 at this stage. And how many of them are really of a concern in terms of radical Islam? Majority of the Muslim world is peaceful, but there are factions that have, even Iran and China might actually have sleeper cells or spies or people infiltrating your borders. Should they have a problem with you in the future, they might have a couple of thousand people within your borders that can assist them in crippling your networks and committing sabotage or even attacking your people. So I would advise, why don't they just take a look at their own border, secure their country, move away from industrializing military equipment or military industrial complex, build your society through innovation, through technology. You have the ideal opportunities to do that, but they don't. I mean them. They don't do what they can to advance the human race. And it's just a pity that no one's really paying attention, or not many people are paying attention to this, especially the US border situation. There's a lot of skewed perceptions regarding this. A country with open borders is not a country. And I know that globalist leaders, World Economic Forum, the WHO, World Health Organization, the United Nations, all of them are actually pushing illegal immigration, and actually it's alleged that they're funding it to a large extent or degree. It's a pity that it's running like this at this stage. None of the organizations that the whole world bends the knee to are really interested in advancing humanity or really taking care of people. They are there to divide people. Pushing for sovereignty or for nationalism, as it might be, or something similar. There's nothing wrong with it, in my opinion. Every country should be proud of who they are. It doesn't mean if you're proud of your country, you think less of any other country or even culture within that country. There's many cultures in any country, or most countries lately. It's just, I think we need to be able to protect our own cultures. Like I said previously, a few years back, actually, I thought about it, and I thought, why are we mending everyone together into a great clay and pretending that it's the way to go forward? We preach diversity, but we want everyone to be the freaking same. How does that work? It doesn't really compute for me personally. So I would say, why don't they just focus on building their cultures within their country. Every country should be able to do that. Everyone should be proud of their culture. No one should be made to feel ashamed of their history. We can only learn from it, and deleting it from the history books or even from Wikipedia or whatever the case may be is not going to make a difference. You're just going to erase any knowledge that's gained through all those errors and mistakes, whichever culture it might be. So supporting your own culture or heritage, there's nothing wrong with it, and that's something many people need to learn. So yeah, that in short is just opinion in regards to the Iran situation. Is a shit situation, actually, to be honest. But in any case, I hope you have a good day. Just a couple of thoughts for the day based on a few news items that I saw, especially on this podcast or interview with Clayton and Colonel Douglas MacGregor. Welcome to check out that interview. Subscribe to the channel. They've got quite a few interesting views. Not going to say you have to make that your gospel. Make up your own mind what you think of it. Also, feel free to check out Tucker Carlson, but same thing applies there. I like them. I like some forms of alternative media, obviously, and gets you a bit of a different view of the world and potentially a better view of the world. But make up your own mind and enjoy your day.